headed to the zoo. Woo! Woohoo! We're gonna do the zoo tag while we're here, and we'll explain more later. Bye! Bye! Alright guys, so for Vulture, we made this tag and we decided that it was going to be a story that features death, and for this I chose Sabriel by Garth Nix. It is part of a trilogy that deals with necromancy, so I felt that was a really good fit for our Vulture friends who do us a favor by digesting dead things.
Alright, so for the shark, the prompt was to do a scary book, and for that one I picked 3 by Ted Dekker. They're going through this journey and trying to figure things out. There's a lot of suspense that goes on, and it actually gets pretty scary by the time I was reading it late at night, all by myself. Not smart. I was pretty freaked out, and so that's why I picked this one for the shark.
So the wolf tag was about loneliness, name a book about loneliness, and so I went with Benti by Nettie Okorafor, just because a major part of that set of books is just about her kind of discovery of herself based on the fact that she's not similar to the other people around her.
Hey, so here we are in front of some Kudu, and they are a type of deer. So one of the questions was deer, and it wanted a book that was about orphans. So the book that I chose for this was Wild Magic, which fits our theme of the zoo by Tamara Pierce. The main character, that Dane, is freshly orphaned in the book. She's never known her dad, and her mom dies. So for the first few books in the series, she is an orphan.
Okay, so for the Crocodile prompt, the actual prompt itself is for an old fantasy, and I picked the Fafard and the Grey Mouser stories by Fritz Leiber, because they're really foundational for the sword and sorcery genre of fantasy, and they're just really old fantasy in general.
So the prompt for Fox was to pick a clever character from a book, and I went with Lady Kavarian from Max Gladstone's 3 Parts Dead, because as you find out by the end of the novel, she had everything pretty much planned out from the beginning.
So for Lizard, the prompt is a book to read on the beach, because lizards love to bask in the sun. So the books that I chose for this is, I really like to read manga on the beach, especially the Skip Beat series. It's a lot of fun with very fluffy romance kind of side plot, and a perky girl who loves to get into trouble. So that is a good beach read.
Okay, so the prompt for Snake is a book I noped out on, and for that one I picked Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I tried to read it multiple times, but the first couple chapters are just so much showing, or telling instead of showing, and I just could not get into it, and so I ended up not being able to finish the book at all.
So for the lion prompt, that one was a book about strength, and I almost picked Benti for this one, but I ended up going with loneliness for that instead. So what I picked for this one was the Tiffany Hawking series with Terry Pratchett.
Alright, so for Turtle, the prompt is, what book took you a really long time to get through, but you liked in the end? And for that, I chose The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. For some reason, even though all of those books individually are very, very short, it took me a really long time to get through them, but in the end, I absolutely loved this series and would highly recommend it.
Okay, so for the Penguin tag, it's about a book you want to read in the winter, and so I thought about books I really like curling up in a blanket with, and I picked Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan, because it's long enough that you can really sit down and spend time with it, but it's fun enough and interactive enough, and you get to know the characters well, that you just get to sit and enjoy.
Yep.
So Clownfish's tag and prompt is for a book that is funny, and so I went with Princess Bride by William Goldman. It's a very sarcastic book with a lot of dry humor, but it's absolutely hilarious.
Hi, so for Parrot, the tag is a book with a petulant or annoying character, and for this I chose Fitz from the Farseer trilogy. He's the main character in the series, but I disagreed with almost every decision he made throughout the series. I found him very annoying in the books, so yeah.
Okay, so for the Rhino tag, the prompt is a hard to find gem of a book. And for this one, I picked Red Queen by Isabel Carmody. And the reason I picked this one is because I first picked the series up when I was like 12 or 13, and it took another 15 or 16 years for the author to finish the series. And when she did, the last book was only released in Australia. So trying to find this book and get it from Australia to the States so I could finally finish the series was a journey. So that's why I picked it for the hard to find gem.
Okay, so for the elephant tag, or for the elephant part of the tag, it was a book that is so huge you can't pick it up. It's just like a giant book. And so I went with Black Dog by K.V. Johansson, because it's a very, very thick book, but it's a really good book to get through.